for it. Get ready for it. Are you ready? Here we go. Yeah, look at this. We got wheels on the back. We got our tie rod ends put in place, including the one for the other side, which is also a guide for our inside chain. The wheels are just slid in place. They're not screwed down tight. And they're going to have to come back off again. Several things have to come back off again. I have an issue with my brake bands. It turns out these are not exactly the same. They have a different kind of a bend on the end. So I'm going to have to take this one back off and try and bend that end out. I don't know if I'm going to be successful or not. At the very least, I got to try and straighten it out. That's not a huge issue there. Because of adding the double brake pads on, this won't reach all the way over anymore because I had to bring it over like that. So I have to work out an extension for that. That's not a huge issue either. And because I have put my pillow blocks on and mounted them to the outside, which is where they needed to be, my wheels don't need any spacers in here anymore. Let's see if I can get in there. Yeah, I don't need a spacer in there anymore. Fits in snug against the pillow block, which is fine. And I don't think I'm going to be using this spacer here, although I still may, because I could use that if well, we'll see. I have a few adjustments to make yet. And I am wanting to make a sleeve. I think I have more of this tubing somewhere, but I want to make a sleeve to go in here in the middle that can be painted to cover over this, and I'll put a couple of set screws on it so it doesn't just spin free, but to cover the axle itself. And that's another reason for putting this out here. And who knows, I may end up putting a couple of spacers in here, though I don't have to have them because these get mounted with a set screw, and the axle does have a keyway on it, which goes all the way across right there. So they'll be mounted solid in place, but I still like the idea of covering the axle out in here. Plus it gives a little more stiffness, you know what I mean? And I'm happy with the way these turned out down here. Yeah, they look pretty good. And we have good clearance on our radius rod brackets. If you remember, these were the original taillight brackets that I had on the back here, with different mounting setup than what I have up here now, although these ones up here are also Ford script wrenches, as we talked about the other day. I see that I need to trim the end of this off because it sticks out a whole lot further on this side than it does on that side. And so I'll trim the other one to match. And we're now ready. Once I finish getting my setup on the rear axle done, we'll be ready next to put this chain on. And even before that happens, I can put my inside chain on. I have drained the oil out of my engine. Probably today I'm going to take off my petcock and clean these fittings in here. I'll probably take the whole thing off, clean all the fittings there, and reseal them. And at the recommendation of my good friend, I'll have to look up his actual name. It's 1966 Ford or something like that. I'm going to use this. This is Gasket Maker, maximum oil resistant. Use that for my sealer on the threads. So yeah, we're starting to get there, you know. It takes time, and one step at a time, but it sure looks a whole lot better than it did even 6 months ago, doesn't it? I think so. Yeah, I'm really stoked. I was really happy that I was able to slide these wheels into place today to see how everything's going to look. I still have to work on my Watts linkage, clean it up and paint it. I'm again working on my front spindles, as you saw yesterday. So as soon as we get those done, and get the front axle painted, we'll be able to get that mounted, and we have 4 wheels on this thing. You know what I'm saying? 4 wheels. And this thing here will get adjusted. It has a chain on it, and that's my chain tensioner down in there, don't you know? But that'll get on when we do this. So yeah, I'm thinking it looks pretty good. I don't know what you all think. And because of my having to move things around, I have to do a little paint touch up here. But I'll do that when I take it off to fix this piece here. We're getting there one step at a time. I wished I could say it didn't cost me a dime, but as you can see, I'm using almost all new fasteners when we're putting this together. And in critical places, I'm using grade 8 bolts. Like here, I did. Just because. So, yeah. What do you think of them apples? I'm liking it. I don't know what you think about it. Thanks for watching, commenting, and for subscribing. Bye for now.